Carving the head is perhaps the most difficult part of making the puppets. This head is being sanded down by Govardhan's son, Hemchand.
I learned the craft at home from my father by watching him while he makes things. When I grow up, I want to do the same work as my father, making puppets.
Hemchand is only 13 and still at school, but his older brother Prakash has already joined his father and uncles working as a puppeteer. Stuffing puppet bodies and sewing clothes is usually done by women. This is Hemchand's mother, Namada. They make many puppets to sell to tourists, but this is a special one that they will use themselves. Puppets are blessed before they are used. The puppeteers give shows regularly at weddings, parties and fairs.
Before I begin my tale, I bow to you, Lord Ganesh, and I bow to you, brothers and sisters. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Birbal the Wise and the pot of rice. Once upon a time, the great Emperor Akbar went out for a walk with his advisor Birbal, who was the wisest man of his time. It was winter and it was bitterly cold.
This is a bit boring, isn't it?
Something amusing is bound to happen, Your Excellency.
Soon they came to a village where everyone was moaning.
It's too cold to work. It is too cold to think. I cannot remember a winter as cold as this one.
It's even too cold to go to the lake to wash. You would have to be mad to go into the water on a day like this.
I don't suppose anyone could spend all night standing in the lake in this weather.
Your Majesty, it would be the death of us all.
But I will give a prize of 1,000 gold coins to anyone who can.
I wash clothes in the lake for a living, Your Excellency, and so I'm used to standing in the cold water. I want to try.
Oh, very well, very well. If you manage to stand right up to your middle in the lake from dusk till dawn, come to court tomorrow morning for your prize.
The night was cold. The water was colder. But the young washerman was determined to win his prize. He could see a light far away in the palace window and tried to imagine how warm and cozy it might be in the tower. Just thinking about the warmth kept his teeth from chattering all night long. Next morning, the washerman begged leave to come before the king and his court.
Your Excellency, I spent the whole night standing in the freezing waters of the lake. May I have the prize you promised?
Well done, young man. Treasurer, give this washerman 1,000 gold coins. Tell me, young man, how were you able to stand the cold all night?
Your Excellency, there was a light shining in your tower. I was thinking how warm and cozy it must be in that room, and just thinking about it made me feel warmer. That's how I managed it.
Your Excellency, that's cheating. The light that he was watching, he used it to warm himself up. Sheer dishonesty. He simply does not deserve any reward.
Well, you have a point, courtier. The light was keeping him warm. That's definitely cheating. You don't deserve that prize after all.
But...
Be off with you.
Have mercy, Your Excellency. I'm a poor man. I was...
No, soldiers, throw him out.
Please, please, please.
Birbal the Wise was upset at the young man's fate.
Sire, please consider this again. Are you being fair to this man? He did fulfill your challenge after all.
That's enough. I've spoken. Bring on the dancing girl. Che! Musicians! Play up! Play up! Aja, aja.
Birbal knew better than to contradict his king, but he wasn't happy about what the emperor had done. He slipped quietly out of the court, determined to change the emperor's mind. A few days later, everything was as usual at the court, except that Birbal wasn't there.
Birbal sends his apologies, sir. But he says he cannot come until his rice is cooked.
But he said that yesterday and the day before. In fact, he hasn't been here for a week. Can anyone tell me what he's up to?
I'm sorry.
Well, I'll just have to find out for myself. Birbal, what are you up to? Why haven't you come to court? I'm getting quite annoyed. I might need you for something important.
Sire, you're clever enough to run the country without my help. But I'll be delighted to come to court once my rice is cooked.
Why are you playing the fool, Birbal? You have tied the pot so high up above the fire, it will never cook your rice.
But Your Excellency, if the warmth of the light in your palace tower can warm the washermen in the lake, why can't the warmth of my fire heat the water in this pot and cook my rice? It is not nearly so far away.
Yes, well, well, you do have a point. Birbal, I was wrong. I should have given the young man the reward. Oh, dear, 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 dear. I suppose I will have to give it to him now. Huh? Won't I?
Yes, Your Majesty.
So Birbal went back to court, just to make sure the washerman did get his reward.
Puppet making is not the only craft practiced in India. Skills developed over hundreds of years are still being used to make handicrafts today. Some are made to traditional patterns, others are modern. These very fashionable dresses are decorated using the traditional art of block printing. Small carved wooden blocks are used to stamp designs on fabric. Many craftspeople, each with a different skill, are needed to make just one garment. And before they can start to make the dress, the blocks themselves have to be made by yet more craftsmen. This wooden block has to be smoothed so it is perfectly flat, or else it won't stamp the dye evenly onto the fabric. It's covered with chalk, so the design can be clearly marked on the surface. With a small chisel, the pattern is carefully pricked through the paper. carving out the wooden pattern is a tricky business. If the carver makes a mistake at this stage, then the whole block is ruined. These blocks are made of wood, but you can make printing blocks out of anything from lino to potatoes.